all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, what'll I make you? Good?
I was gonna let it go. I was gonna let it go, but it keep pulling me back in, y'all. Listen, I got this link in regards to some disturbing news. Not disturbing, but it's some news in regards to Lil Wayne and who he decided to support. I wanted to do a live reaction, but I couldn't do it by my damn self. So I had to reach out to my big bro. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted him to come through so we can do this live reaction together and give you our thoughts on how we feel. So I got Lloyd from the House of Spades, Blackified, in the building. Let me see if I can get him on this thing real quick.
Down in the little window. I'm in the little window.
I see you. I was trying to get people to really see your face, bro. My bad.
You just gotta unhook your little special little window.
Okay. I think
take me off of that though.
Okay.
Not my show.
So I think we good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this clip for you guys, and we're gonna have a live reaction for you guys and let you know how we feel about this thing, man. Because it's kind of disturbing. I'm just saying, it's kind of disturbing. So let me see.
Oh, we just all the way up out of here. Yeah, he didn't hit the wrong thing.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Lil Wayne endorsing Donald Trump for president. Now, this is big. It's tremendous because Lil Wayne is one of the biggest celebrities in the world, period. You may not know that, maybe you do, but he's right up there with Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, seriously. And I'll explain that in a minute. But first, I got to say, the endorsements for the president have been rolling in as of late. You got Jack Nicklaus with a full endorsement, Brett Favre, full endorsement, Lil Pump. I mean, it's from all over the place, all different walks of life, all different genres of music, entertainment, sport, philanthropy, business. It's all over the place, all right? It's not just here and there randomly. You got full endorsements with full statements, social media, television, everywhere, all right? So I'm really excited about all the endorsement that Donald Trump has. And it just kind of makes sense to me. You're talking about a guy that wants the best for the American people and a guy who was loved by the majority of people before he became the Republican nominee for president. Before he ran for president in 2015, there was never a peep about Donald Trump being racist or somehow a bad guy. It was all praise from all over the place. So those that are being real with themselves aren't going to just all of a sudden change now because he's a Republican president. But for now, I digress. Lil Wayne and his endorsement was full and complete. And I'll place his tweet on the screen before you. It reads, just had a great meeting with real Donald Trump, POTUS, President of the United States. Besides what he's done so far with criminal reform, the Platinum Plan is going to give the community real ownership. He listened to what we had to say today and assured he will and can get it done. So that is a full endorsement. That's not just, oh, well, maybe I'll vote for him. I can get lower taxes. I can get X, Y, and Z, but he's still a racist. It ain't nothing like that. This is a full and complete endorsement. Now, Lil Wayne, like I said, is one of the biggest celebrities in the world, beyond just your regular average everyday rapper. As a matter of fact, the biggest rapper in the world right now, and probably one of the biggest music artists in the world right now, and Drake, is signed to Lil Wayne. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But I'm pretty sure that Drake and Nicki Minaj, Blueface, and a lot of other, big rappers, entertainers are signed to YMCMB. That's Young Money, Cash Money. Cash Money is the parent company that Lil Wayne's been on since he's been a kid, and YM, that's Young Money, that's Lil Wayne's label. So if you're signed to YMCMB, you're signed to Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is responsible for the biggest artist in music, and he is still a big artist in music. He's still one of the top streamed artists in the world, even without putting out much new music, because he has a catalog that's very extensive. Understand this. He's been around since like the late 90s and is still really relevant right now today, still culturally important today, not just in the United States, but all over the world. He's the kind of guy that can go to Japan and sell out a show. Okay, there's not many guys that can do that. Michael could do it. Lil Wayne is one of them. All right. There are certain words that you may say or that you may have heard that are recognized as words that Lil Wayne came up with. I know one of them is bling. Remember that? Bling bling? That was Lil Wayne. That was the Hot Boys. That was Cash Money. All right. Cash Money, I think, is the biggest independent label in the world. Like there's some issues with Wayne and Cash Money. I understand that, but still.
Yeah, groupie.
What Lil Wayne has built,
but only because
the artist that he's been able to put out there to the world, you can't really deny it. You can't deny his cultural relevance or his impact. So when Lil Wayne says, I support President Trump, what are you really going to do? All you can do is cry real hard. And I'm seeing the tears fall from the liberal faces all over the internet today. And it's sweet to me. I say, hey, put them tears in the cup right now. I can put it in my gas tank and drive to the moon with it. You understand what I'm saying? That's rocket fuel for me. It energizes me when you guys cry about Lil Wayne. I'm seeing white celebrities, black celebrities, everybody. You're effing stupid. How could you? I'm seeing Roland Martin had a video with a scrunch face. I want you to read every line of the Platinum Plan, because that's what Lil Wayne said. He likes the Platinum Plan. I mean, come on. People ain't going to do that, reading every line of the Platinum Plan. A regular person is going to see, okay, you got two candidates running. You got Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Who has the best plan? Who has the best track record beyond what they're even saying on the campaign trail? Because you can say something on the campaign trail, and that's fine, that's great. But what is your actual track record? When you go out there in the private sector, what has Joe Biden accomplished? Nothing. And he's been in government on Capitol Hill since 1973. That's 47 years. What has he accomplished in that period of time? You guys tell me. As a U.S. Senator from Delaware, and then as a vice president for 8 years, what has he accomplished? The Crime Bill 94, locking black folks up. I mean, I don't see many accomplishments. How about Trump? I mean, billionaire, multiple successful businesses. You know, he has been the guy that's been a philanthropist. A story I heard, and I may get the story kind of wrong, so you guys, if you know the story, just correct me in the comments below. Judge Joe Brown said that if you were a black potential business owner or an owner just trying to find some funding, some capital, and you couldn't get it from a bank or anybody that you knew, you would go to Donald Trump. And what had happened is this. You meet with him, you sit down, talk about your plan, whatever, say how much you need, and Trump will give you a check. And it says, okay, there's no interest on this loan or nothing like that, but whenever you get everything rocking and rolling, just come back and pay me in full for the amount that I lent you. So that was it. You know, very gracious to do that because they couldn't get funding other ways. Not really sure why, but it is what it is. They couldn't get funding, so they went to Trump and he was able to hook them up. Now, that's not where the story ends. When a person would come back with the cash in hand after they got everything rocking with their business, Trump would ask a couple questions about how's everything going, you know, got your business rolling. Okay, that's great. And when the person would hand the check over to Trump, Trump would tear it up, I think, get back to him and be like, hey, enjoy your business. Shake their hand and move on. Meaning he would just straight give black folks money to start a business. This is in the late 80s, early 90s. So years and years and years ago, he's always been that guy. Even guys like Puff that went announced.
I need receipt that
Trump talking about he's smashed this and you cannot survive 4 more years. He was all in Trump's face at parties, hanging out with him and Melania. So this is a recent thing. This ain't best back in the day. It was back in the day too when Puff first started, had that activated curl and the real big oversized suits. He was a fan of Trump's back then, and they would hang out back then. But in the 2012, 2010 era, he'd be around him. Same thing with Snoop.
He is so happy to be talking about this, man.
Defended his friend Ice Cube for meeting with the administration. a guy who has been vehemently anti-Trump since he came in office, and Snoop Dogg still cannot cancel Ice Cube. You can't cancel Cube for just sitting down and meeting with him. He didn't endorse the president, say he was going to vote for him or nothing like that. He's like, okay, I have my contract with Black America. If you want to sit down with me and get some things done, we can do that. The Democrats, they want to brush me off. And you know what? I think what's happening right now, they're seeing all these black folks and everybody else supporting Donald Trump publicly. You're starting to see the true colors of the Democratic Party if you hadn't seen it before. See, I see the true colors of the Democratic Party being over here on the right, because when I was over there on the left, oh, they're your best friend. Everything is all good. And they'll tell you that the other side are racist. Don't go over there. Hey, don't go over there because they're racist. That's what they tell you, right? But then when you go over there and it's all love and people are making you snacks and all types of foods and whatever you want, just because your friends and friends care for each other, help each other. Them on the other side will say that you are a sellout, you are a coon, you're Uncle Tom, you're a shoe shiner. All the racist things that they told you, the other side would say to you, they say themselves. It's called projecting. All right. So people are starting to see that now. They're starting to see, hey, wait a minute. Why is all this racist language coming from the left? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That's what Joe Biden said.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
And then it comes out super predators and N-word comments here and there. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then I think with Cube, Cedric Richmond, who is the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus in the Democratic Party, he accused Cube of lying, talking about, oh well, we didn't say wait till after the election. And Cube was like, well, wait a minute, put the Zoom call out. So now you're getting friction from those that are purportedly on your side who say the other side are racist. So now you're seeing the reality of the whole situation. So I like the endorsement, if nothing else, of what I mentioned, just for revealing who both sides are, revealing the actual racists and those that are actually against you in your forward progress. So as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Lil Wayne for the endorsement of Trump. We appreciate you, boss. Shout out to Brett Favre. Shout out to Lil Pump, Jack Nicklaus. Everybody, even 50 Cent, who was like halfway in, halfway out, kind of scared to really endorse him all the way. He put out a tweet talking about, oh, I wouldn't have done that with the picture. So what does that mean? Okay, you still are going to vote for Trump, but you wouldn't be out there publicly endorsing him? Is that kind of what's going on? It's kind of weird, but I digress.
Trying to say he a brother
for sitting down and talking to the administration. He may not be a Trump supporter, and that's fine. All right, we need those that are just going to be cooperative and just use common sense and use their brain. All right. So shout out to all you guys and shout out to everybody else that has been able to open their eyes and see where the correct path to go is. So, hey, if you've not voted yet, you already know what time it is. Vote Trump 2020. I'm saying it. Of course, I endorse the president, and there's many more of us that endorse him. If you feel like, well, I don't want to endorse the president or I don't want to vote for the president, I'm scared of my friends and family. Look, if you got real friends and real family, they're not going to just discard you because of who you vote for. All right. I got a family that want to vote for Biden and they're vehement in their actions, and that's fine. They're still my family, and whatever they need, I got them, and vice versa. I got real friends that'll do something and you would never know what they did, but I'll leave it right there for now.
Oh my God.
And what say you? Do you think that Lil Wayne's endorsement of Trump is very important? And that's your viewpoint. Let me know why in the comments below. Or is it not important? Do you not care? That's your viewpoint. Let me know why in the comments below. I think it's extremely important because one thing that people got to understand in politics in general, you got to be able to capture the culture. If you can get the culture on your side, then you're going to be able to have success. All right. Not everyone responds to just the political points and the data and all that good stuff. Not everyone responds to that. Some are going to say, hey, Lil Wayne, you supporting him? All right. Maybe I feel more emboldened to support him. Maybe I want to go check him out and see what he got going on. If Lil Wayne is endorsing him, why don't I just take a peek and see what's happening? A lot of guys and girls that were just totally afraid to even look at the right are giving it a look right now. And once they go down the rabbit hole and see what's happening with the right and the left in the true sense, then they can make a more informed decision. So I really appreciate the support from a lot of the cultural icons that we have in the world, especially Lil Wayne. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I gotta say for this video. If you like what you heard,
I don't
my
like
God.
it. What do I do if I don't like what I heard?
Oh my God. What the fuck?
And here's my question though. Like, here's
Oh
my issue. Like, when people always say common sense, like everybody feel like that their perspective is common sense, right? They're like, he was like, well, common sense. And the issue with common sense assumes that everybody has had the same experiences, have come to the same conclusions and had the same insights. And that's just not really true. Like, here's a question: like, common sense is that water is wet, but what if you have never been exposed to water before?
That was a bad analogy. This.
Well, I'm just saying, the truth of the matter is, if you've never been around water, if you had never been exposed to water, you wouldn't know this wet.
That was bad.
What about fire? Fire
Bad,
better for you? Fire
again.
hot?
Bad
Fire
again.
hot?
That was bad.
It could have been born in Alaska.
I mean, you could say, what if you never been on a plane before? That would have been more like, okay.
But that's not. Nobody ever said common sense is that planes fly. Like, nobody says that as an example of common sense.
Let me tell you why I got such an issue with what he was saying.
Because it was retarded.
Which is crazy. Because when Cardi B was talking to Biden, they was like, yo, she should be talking to Biden. This is a political arena. She should not be, a part of it. Da, 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 da. But when Lil Wayne decides that he wants to back Trump, it's the greatest thing ever. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard Lil Wayne in an interview recently in regards to having a conversation? Do you realize how slow he talks?
I can't stand listening to that motherfucker talk.
But this is my thing. How slow he talks based on all the drugs and shit that he does. The fact of the matter is, you think because Lil Wayne is supporting you, that just because he's supporting you, people going to jump off the rafters and be like, oh my God, Lil Wayne supporting him, so he has to be okay. You don't think that they wrote him a check?
But the issue though is,
you don't think they gave him a check?
But even more, it's not surprising because like Lil Wayne doesn't speak up against police brutality or anything.
Right.
Like,
Right.
His perspectives on that,
I see that. I see that too.
Like he don't believe that racism occurs and none of that. Like, so it's not really surprising. It's just only thing surprising is how much like this guy is like championing him. You could tell he don't listen to Lil Wayne.
Right.
Right. Like, exactly. He did a bunch of research after he found out that he was doing it, so he could like celebrate him and talk about it. Right. But he's not really like, you could tell he don't listen to Lil Wayne. The only thing he heard of from Lil Wayne is Bling Bling. He don't know none of his recent songs.
Right. You're right.
I mean, I want to see him talk about how them hoes ain't loyal. He ain't bring them songs up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So forget all that shit he talking about.
Yeah, that's I can't even. To me, honestly, man, I don't care what rapper is supporting who. That don't mean shit to me. What matters to me is my thought process and how I feel in regards to being comfortable with the actual candidate. It don't matter LeBron. It don't matter who you put next to that candidate. It's not going to say, well, since they're endorsing him, I need to endorse him. Like it don't really matter to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't ride for nothing like that, you know what I'm saying, other than how I feel in my experiences or whatever. But to feel like the dude, you ever seen a dude that's like never could really get in the game, or better yet, he really wasn't getting the girls in school, but now he's in a position where he can get some girls and he's just so happy and so excited that now he's getting the opportunity. That's how I feel like my man was talking when he was talking about Lil Wayne. It was like, Lil Wayne's coming. Like, Lil Wayne's on our side. Like calm down, bro. Like, it ain't even that serious.
I mean, be doing the same thing with the Candace Owens. Candace Owens do the same shit. Just like when she was, just like when she tried to make it seem like Chelsea Handler was being racist because she told him, like, you can't vote for Trump, you black. You know what I'm saying? You're a black man. But the way she said it was not in the context in which Candace Owens tried to flip it. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't saying, like, you can't do it, like, you're not allowed. She was just saying, like, like, it's against your best interest because you're black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, not because, but even with that, like, at this point, I don't even care if Mickey Mouse is president. I really don't, like, I felt like Trump becoming president kind of showed you that it didn't matter who the fuck the president was anymore. Like, So at this point, I really don't care who holds that office.
I hear you. I definitely hear. I wanted to get because something you said I thought was kind of key when you said Lil Wayne on Black Lives Matter, which is very interesting to me. Let me see if I can. Hold on.
Yeah, definitely pull that stuff up. Cause like watching a lot of his interviews, I get irritated. You know, and what's funny though is like I've heard some interviews where he seemed like he was. He had some issues, some interviews that I didn't really have an issue with, but when it comes to police brutality and like as far as like standing up in the areas where black people are typically affected, like he seems like I guess he's been sheltered from what goes on in some type of way, which he may have because I mean he's been a star from like a young age.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Let me see if I can get what he said. Hold on.
I don't want to be bashed because I don't want to sound like I'm on the wrong if there is a side, but I thought that was clearly a message that there was no such thing as racism.
Can you imagine him talking to Donald Trump?
There was a lot of backlash from people about that.
Okay.
Would you change it, what you said, or you still feel the same way?
Oh my God.
I am a young, black, rich. If that don't let you know that America understands black matter these days, I don't know what it is. Don't come at me with that dumb man.
Look at this shit.
My life matters.
Look at this shit.
The problem though is like he's an
Bruh.
exception. He's an exception. He's not the rule.
Bruh. Cut the interview short.
Oh, now he ain't no politician. Ain't that some shit?
That shit crazy, bro. That shit is crazy as shit. I can't, bro. I can't. And my whole thing about it is you wonder why it's so difficult for black people and black communities to get ahead. It's like we speak to people, it's just like, dude, that boy said I'm a rich mother. Don't come at me talking about that Black Lives Matter shit. That's crazy. Here's the thing. You get an opportunity to speak to people on how to empower people. And what you do is you miss your shot. You miss your opportunity. But now you missed your opportunity to talk about racism in America, systematic, wherever. The fact of the matter is now you're talking to the president about endorsing him. A man who cannot clearly say I denounce racism in America. Like if everybody in denial, when do we talk about it? At what point do we actually speak on the shit?
No, if you ignore it, it'll go away.
Obviously, because he a rich motherfucker. So obviously, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what everybody says. Like whenever you talk about the issues that black people typically have in this country, you're being divisive when like division, that's what the country was founded upon. Like what's crazy, the same motherfucker that was just talking all that shit had motherfucking We the People behind him when We the People, when they was talking we the People back in 1776, guess what they was not thinking about? Your black ass wasn't included in We the People.
Yeah, we know that the Constitution wasn't written for black people. Here's my issue.
We the People is from the Declaration of Independence. That's not even from the Constitution.
I don't mind having celebrities meet with politicians. You do whatever you feel like you need to do. The fact of the matter is when you get asked, you know what I'm saying, how do we move how do we move the ball forward? How would we put points on the board in regards to black communities? You know what I'm saying? You get an opportunity to talk to people that's in charge of some shit, that got power, that got the reach, that got the motivation, right? They got the influence. And you play it off as if it's frivolous. That's my issue. And my thing about it is if you're not going to answer the call, then sit your ass down. You say I'm here on my own merit. I'm on my own accord. I'm not talking about black people. That's not my thing. And if it's not your thing, cool. But then don't turn around and say, guess what? He's on our team. You see what I'm saying? You can't say I'm not talking about, I don't believe in racism. I don't think it exists, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then say I'm going to go support the president of the United States based on what principles? You're talking about a platinum package. I've never heard Lil Wayne put out nothing about the platinum package until right now. Until right now. He ain't rapped about it. He ain't signed no documents. Ice Cube ain't say he met with him. But now all of a sudden, because Lil Wayne is backing him, that should be some type of fucking public recognition. Bro, you don't get no recognition from me, man. Do you? Do you? But that ain't gonna make me go run and vote for Donald Trump. Come on, move the fuck out of here.
I mean, at this point, like I said, I don't even give a fuck who the president is. We gonna find out Tuesday, man. We gonna find out. We gonna find out Tuesday, and whatever
it might be Candace Owens. Why you put?
Man, listen. At this point,
it might be Candace Owens. You never know, bro.
Either that happened, like I don't give no fucks. Like here you go. This is what happened, right? When Donald Trump got elected president, I had it in my mind. I'm like, I'm going to ignore the presidency for the next 4 years. That was my plan, right? And I couldn't even do that because as soon as this motherfucker got in the office, he was making headlines. I was always getting alerts. Like I've never heard a president make this much noise in office. He started doing all the things that he said he was going to do, and other stuff that people actually wanted done, like trying to like undoing Obamacare. Like every fucking day, I was getting an alert on my phone about some shit this nigga was doing, and I'm like, man, seriously, shit every day. So I couldn't even effectively ignore the presidency because this dude was on some fuck shit from the beginning.
I can't say I'm ignoring the presidency, but I can't.
I was trying to.
I feel like that Donald Trump has successfully exposed things that happen here in America at a high level. You know what I'm saying? Successfully exposed how people think and what they're willing to do to protect what they think. And it's very it's interesting because you normally don't see those things publicly. You see those things behind closed doors. It's a taboo to talk about those things out loud. So he's just made it like, if we're going to do this shit, then we're going to do this shit out loud and let everybody kind of see. Because, he's talking about grabbing people by the pussy. He's talking about, just a lot of stuff that you don't normally hear presidents say and do. Making friends with people that, America don't, hey, y'all stay over there. He like, hey, we best buds. So he's done and said things that normal presidents would have definitely had. They definitely would have got railroaded for. Like if Obama would have did half the shit that he did and said, bro, they already didn't respect him. But on top of saying, let's grab some females by the pussy or let's do X, Y, and Z, he would have been out of there.
Obama is still being blamed for stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But that endorsement to me is funny. It don't matter to me if Cardi B vote for Biden, Lil Wayne vote for fucking Trump. It don't matter. Because at the end of the day, regardless of who takes office or remains in office, the rich are still going to be rich. You see what I'm saying? And we still going to have the problems that we have here, you know what I'm saying, that's been, encompassed in America, deeply rooted in America for quite some time. So it don't matter. It matters to me if you exercise the decision to vote or not. But I don't think it will matter to me who you put in office, because at the end of the day, these are two white old men that have found a way to promote their come up. Their come up is politics. Their come up is reaching out to other nations and pulling in funds and endorsements and all this other stuff. So both of them know how to work the gauntlet, so to speak. So they already good without being in the White House. They already good.
I'm not even looking at it from a Biden situation. I feel like it would be cool, my opinion, if Kamala Harris ended up being president somehow. That's the only thing I'm kind of even interested in at that point. But as far as here's my thing. I don't feel like the president. I don't feel like them fools in Washington are who run the country. I feel that if the country was if the country was in a situation where the regime changed every 48 years, or even with Congress and stuff like that, I feel like it would make the country super unstable. So the people who really calling the shots are not the people who are being elected in the office.
Hmm.
You know, the people that are being elected in office, they're just the figureheads. They getting all the blame.
Hmm.
You know, so they're the distraction from who running the country. But like, at what point has who been elected in office really made made things change direction for real? When has direction actually changed because somebody got elected into those positions? Usually, things are continually go the course they were going to go.
I think the major changes that we have seen has happened generations before us.
Right.
Then, like, you know what I'm saying, like allowing black people to vote, allowing Jim Crow laws to be abolished and stuff like. I think those were the major, you know what I'm saying, pushes
Well,
for
I mean,
change.
but yeah, and even when you address that, like when you say that you care about whether or not people vote or not, one of the things I look at is those things like what have black people actually accomplished since they had the right to vote? Because those things were things we accomplished before we had the right to vote. But since we had the right to vote, what have we really gotten done?
I think it's the power is, first of all, being a part of the conversation for people to now advocate and say, we how do we get the black vote versus before where you wasn't even considered to be a part of the conversation. Now we are part of the conversation. Next we say, okay, we're a part of the conversation. Now how do we take our vote to actually make it mean something for our communities? I think that's the issue now. We don't have candidates that high, you know what I'm saying, to actually vote for that's actually going to have our best benefits. We say if we vote for Democrats, well, that's what black people normally do. If we vote for Republicans, well, we sold out, we coons, we this, we this. So we don't really have someone that we feel as black America or black people to get behind and say that is the person for us.
Well,
We have the people that we just have to fucking hope and pray that they do the right thing.
well, and part of that though is because we don't have a say so, and it's not because of a vote. It's because like we don't have any like we're not making campaign contributions for the most part. You know what I mean? Like like some of us barely vote. So, and now we feel like that's all we got to do. We're not there to help influence policy in no type of way. We're not lobbyists. We're not contributing to campaigns, and that's the reason why our interest isn't being addressed. Because I feel like if we were in positions where we financially could make contributions, when
Mhm.
we lobby or even be lobbyists, we could give our interests. Like you look at the Chinese people, or like a lot of people that the Asian people, they don't really vote, but their interests get looked after because they
Mhm.
put their money in the right situation. So we feel like we should vote, and we don't and forget the financial part. The financial part is really the main thing that's going to get you seen more so than you going to cast a ballot and being one out of many.
Right, right. I think financially, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's too many people that get into, too many black people that get into the financial aspect. You know what I mean?
Right.
I still think that we're kind of shabby when it comes to learning local politics. You know what I'm saying? I think
Right.
everybody kind of understands the presidency, like, okay, it's either this side or this side, but I don't think locally we have a clue who's in office, why they're in office, office. Like I don't know how to use the governor. I don't know how to use the mayor. I don't know if I have an issue with the DA. Who do I need to go to? So I think that we need to get privy to how politics work.
No, I mean we definitely need to be privy to not just how politics work, but to how a lot of things work. Like we don't know how banks work.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. We don't know how money works. We don't know. There's a lot of things we don't understand. We're following the blueprint given to us without understanding it. One of the things like you see what's going around now is this credit score hustle, right? We're gonna help you fix your credit. We're gonna help you fix your credit. Why are we helping you fix your credit so you can get in more debt? Because I mean, when you really look at when you
That's how
really
you feel. That's how you feel.
no, because look at the situation though. It's like you can't afford to buy a house outright. You can't afford to buy a house cash, but you can afford to overpay for one.
Hmm.
That's what you end up doing over the course of a mortgage. You end up paying almost twice the price of a house. So if you can't afford to pay the retail value, you can't afford to pay double it. If you can't afford to buy a car, you can't afford to pay twice the value of a car over the period of 5 years. But we're taught that's the way. And so we've been taught how to borrow money, but not how to make money. You know,
Okay.
and we feel like managing money is about learning how to borrow responsibly. So learning how to be the lender.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I definitely agree with learning to borrow money versus make money. I definitely agree with that. I wish that we put as much emphasis into learning about how to make money
Mhm.
that we put into like the reality TV show Crave. If we had that much emphasis on saying, you know, this is how you open up a business, this is how you're successful in the business in the first year, this is how you network your business or market your business or whatever. I think if we had that much more emphasis, like if there were so many, these thousands of people were so much more interested in creating a wave of knowledge versus a wave of ratchetness. Like if new eyelashes came out right now, it'll be so many people that know about it. But if a new tax break like that for your business that came out, it'll be very few people that know about it. And how do you switch that narrative? How do you
Well,
make that important? You know what I mean?
here's the thing, though. A lot of us, like I said, the the way things are working is still new for a lot of us. A lot of us are still learning the ropes, no matter how far up the ladder we think we've gotten. Right? For example, case in point was Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon was in a situation where he felt like he had some power, some influence, and he was putting people on. He was doing all the things that, like, I respect the fact he was giving people opportunities who never had opportunities, right? But then he faced a point where he realized the reality of the fact that he doesn't really own what he felt like was his, and that was because, you know, he never really looked at it from that way. So I'm sure now he's probably thinking about, like, I should be building my own platform. I need to have something I have more control over, things of that sort. Because one of the things that we've always been great at, because one of the things that we fought for was to be a part of the entertainment industry. And now we're very, very much a part of the entertainment industry as far as being an attraction, but we still not making the money. Everybody's making money off of us. That's one of the things about the entertainment industry is that people with the talent make the least off of it. We're always being exploited. And so the question is, how do we make it so that the money being made is actually going to us, right? And that's something that we've been slow to gravitate to that point, to that
I don't.
position.
To be honest with you, man, I always thought Nick Cannon was corny. Yeah,
Me too.
I always thought he was
Me
corny.
too.
And I don't feel bad about what happened to him. I think he a sucker, and I'm gonna tell you why I think he a sucker because no, straight up. Because my thing about it is you are on these predominantly white shows, white American shows, or American shows where you are hosting as a black man, right? And then so during the day you got damn yes sir, no sir, boss. And then at nighttime, now you a revolutionist. Like now you on this podcast and you talking cash shit, you know what I'm saying, or whatever case be. Then in the midst of that, you have this Wild 'N Out show that advocates some of the shit is funny, but really ain't shit positive coming. And I don't know if we supposed to look at it positive, but the thing about it is, it's like, what does it really promote? You know what I'm saying? And in the midst of all of this, you don't realize that, you know what, I don't own this shit. I don't own this shit. I don't have ownership in this. I need to change this shit up. And it's not until you finish talking your shit, your revolutionary shit, getting around people you feel is important that's going to help you talk your shit. It's not until someone tells you, you work for me, motherfucker. You forgot? Well, let me take this shit away from you and then we see what you got left. Now all of a sudden, oh, I'm sorry, boss. I didn't know what I was doing, boss. My thing about standing your square. If you feel like what you was doing is right, and you feel like what you said need to be said because it is what it is, then stand on it. Don't backtrack, because when you backtrack, now you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't have said it like that. Well, you ain't smart enough to realize that you are in a good position. You're hosting these events. You're bringing people on, Wild 'N Out is a come up, but my whole thing about it is like, what is it really doing for the black community? To me, it's just another thing of ratchet television. But you might have thought it was like super cool. I don't know.
No, I mean, no, it's not about. I don't. I try to get out of the habit of, I guess, being the moral judge in those situations. That's probably not the way I mean it, but like I don't really look at it from a standpoint of judging as far as contributions because in my opinion, I feel like role models that should be the role of parenting. We everybody was always want to blame the celebrities for how your kids are turning out. When the reality is, you got parents. It kind of reminds me of when people were blaming the fast food restaurants for people being fat, like for their kids being fat. And so now what happened was they went and changed all the oils. So now a lot of the stuff that we grew up loving don't taste nowhere near as good because they had to change the oil and everything like that. And so, because they're blaming the fast food restaurants. Well, my mama knew how to tell us no, right? We could ride by the Golden Arches all we fucking want to. It was the answer was fucking no. You know why? Because the popular black saying, "I ain't had McDonald's money," right?
Right.
I ain't had McDonald's money. My mama knew how to tell us no, and so I was kind of amused at the fact that all these people didn't know how to tell their kids no, and so now they're blaming the fast food restaurants for their kids being fat when the real root of the problem was bad parenting at the end of the day. It was bad parenting. Why are you raising your kids on fucking McDonald's? Why are you raising your kids on these situations and then rather even take accountability, the whole lack of accountability is I'm gonna blame the fast food restaurants for what I'm like I don't know how to tell my kids no. No.
Right.
And so so when they were suing, these companies, this is like remember this long time ago McDonald's got sued because the lady spilled coffee on her lap. Remember that? Like all these things that people are doing to themselves and they're blaming other people for, and so it's like all these misdirections and it's so many different narratives. It's like now, like one of my things I'm most tickled about is vegans. Vegans and vegetarians, and I'm not tickled at the fact that you're making a choice to, not eat meat. The part I'm tickled about is when your food items you're eating are assimilating meat. To me, that's like you ain't really about that life. Like you don't want to eat a burger, but you want your food to taste and feel like eating a burger. You know what I mean? Like, you might as well go for the real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you, and I don't know, and no matter what your stance is, like even if you're saying it's because of moral purposes or whatever it is, like if I decided I didn't want to eat meat, like for example, I don't eat eggs. Guess the last thing I want is to eat some simulated eggs. The last thing I want is some simulated eggs, right? It kind of reminds me of even in situations where like, when people had these sexual preferences, so like, okay, fine, you don't like women, but then you go get a dude that acts and functions and emulates being a woman. So it's like, or even vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, are you really about that life or no?
Yeah, that's yeah. We definitely have to revisit sexuality or whatever. I think a good portion of that was covered when we talked about it before. But that to me is so many different aspects to that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I wanted to have a one-on-one conversation because of the issues that with that show that when we had it on Ace. I mean, when we had it on House of Spades was it turned more into an interview than an actual discussion because it's just a bunch of people asking them questions. So in a way, I kind of feel like we're just more so putting them on the spot than really having them treated as a guest panel member. You know what I'm saying?
I think a good job was the job that was done was the curiosity. I think a lot of curiosity, and I think that's from the standpoint. But I think you're right. You know what I'm saying? A conversation that flows would be, you know what I'm saying, very heartfelt. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it probably would be more or so needed, probably on a one-on-one basis. You're probably right. Yeah.
Maybe, and it's just I was hoping was going to happen at some point, but because people just had so many questions, I was hoping that once we had a couple of, once we had the interview of the questions, and so now things were kind of established. Then from there we could start to have an actual discussion. But then what was funny was, once we started to get through everybody's questions, more and more people kept popping up to ask questions. Like people came out the woodwork, like, whoa, I got some questions to ask him too. Then somebody else, I got some questions to ask. Then so the next it was just a never-ending flow of questions, right?
Hey, look, so check this out though. I definitely got to go right now. But the fact of the matter is, I appreciate you coming through. I'm curious to hear other people's thought process on Lil Wayne joining the Republican Party and supporting Trump. You know what I'm saying? But I got to get to the polls, man. I literally got to go right now. So I can get to
All right, man. Peace.